Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back, 16 after 9 o'clock. Before we are joined by Palestinian journalist and activist Mohamed Sha'aban, we're going to take a look at a short video clip of what Gaza looks like right now, but there is no audio on the clip, so we're just going to be looking at the visuals. Thereafter, we'll be talking with Mohamed Sha'aban. Please stay with us. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, 17 after 9 o'clock. And one wonders when you look at that, really the might of the Israeli army, and they seem to be absolutely intent in wiping out, the face of Palestine, wiping it off the face of the earth. But as we as Muslims always say, Allah is the best of planners. We can plan as much as we like, but Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of planners. 18 after 9 o'clock, we're into the second hour of the show on Salam Media. We also welcome to the show our Polokwane listeners on One Nation FM. We cross over now to a journalist based in Palestine. He's not only a journalist, he's an activist as well, and he is Mohamed Sha'aban. Salamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program. Mohammed, are you there? Mohammed, salamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Uh, um, I'm I'm not sure if the connection or the voice is clear because, as I told you before, that the connection is bad here in Gaza. So I
I
hope that
can hear
my
you.
voice is
I can
clear.
hear you loudly and clearly now. Jazakallah, I can hear you. Can you tell us about the aid that was meant for Gaza? We believe it is stuck. Egypt is saying that Israel is not allowing the aid to come into Gaza. What
Mhm,
is the current situation regarding
mhm.
the aid?
Okay, before I would like to thank you for hosting me to talk about this reality and to raise the Palestinian voice and message and to reach it to the world. Uh, Firstly, as you know, we have been witnessing or we have been suffering a deadly Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strips for over 11 days in a row, where over 2,800 Palestinians have been killed. 65% of them are children and women, and over 10,000 Palestinians have been wounded by the massive Israeli airstrikes on the Palestinian houses. However, the Israeli occupation continues to prevent the humanitarian aid and assistance to enter Gaza that have been witnessing a suffocating blockade for over 16 years in a row. And many countries many countries are trying to pressure on the occupation to enter these aids to Gaza, but there is no action. There is no actual decision until now. Um, as a result, now the situation in Gaza is very bad. There is no water, there is no power, electricity, there is no internet, and even the food now. There is a shortage in the food supplies in Gaza, and it's about to end. So we are witnessing a very catastrophic conditions in Gaza, a human crisis. Me also, I when I want to get water, I have to go for a far distance to bring water in some bottles to bring it to the home, and it's not available all the time. And you can imagine this for over 2 million Palestinians in Gaza, that they don't find any source of food, water, and whatever. And the Israeli occupation is still insists to prevent any humanitarian aid to enter Gaza, which is a flagrant violation against the humanitarian laws and against the international law, against humanitarian laws. So it's the situation in Gaza now, unfortunately.
Okay, Mohammed, you are a journalist yourself. We have heard reports
Mhm,
about two or three journalists that have been killed. Do the journalists in Palestine not wear
mhm,
the press vests, or does that not matter? Are the Israelis out to kill anybody or everybody? Is that really shoot to kill? Is that their orders?
mhm, mhm. Look, it's not only about journalists. The Israeli occupation forces targeted or killed medical crews, ambulances, journalists, and also civil society workers. And also they bombed many schools, hospitals, many governmental facilities. So it's not about journalists only. Israeli occupation are targeting all categories of the Palestinian community, the Palestinian people in Gaza, without any abidement to the international law or the humanitarian laws. And though those journalists were dressing the press uniform, and yeah, however, the Israeli occupation killed them in the cold blood in the front of the international community, who are encouraging the Israeli occupation to commit more crimes by justifying the crimes of the Israeli of self-defense. That the Israeli occupation have to defend itself by killing thousands of Palestinian civilians, children, women, journalists, medical workers, and so on. So the Israeli occupation unfortunately targets all the categories of the Palestinian people without any discrimination or differences between the
Okay, Mohammed, we also understand that the Israeli military has renewed their military order to evacuate the Kuwaiti hospital. What's the situation there? We also know that they have bombed one or two of the hospitals as well.
the Israeli occupation have ordered or warned the hospitals to evacuate because they want to bomb this hospital, but the management rejected many times, and at the end they told the occupation that we will stay here in this hospital, performing our humanitarian duty and work, and we will not leave it, because evacuating it, it's very difficult, because there are hundreds of wounded Palestinians that they cannot move from a place to another. If they will move from the hospital to another place, they might die, they might lose their life, because there are many critical injuries due to the Israeli airstrikes. So until now, there is a united stand from the management of the and the worker in the hospital to not evacuate it. And until now, the Israeli occupation is still warning them to bomb this hospital. And to know that it's not the first time. And before, they warned Al Aqsa Hospital the same way. And I think another hospital, but I don't remember the name, they warned it, and the worker inside the hospital rejected to evacuate, and they insisted to perform their humanitarian work and humanitarian duty to help the wounded Palestinian people in these hospitals. So it's the situation now in these
Okay,
hospitals.
Eunice,
Until now,
Yun,
they haven't bombed the hospitals. Yeah.
All right, someone by the name of Yunis Tirawi has been posting a lot of messages on X. And he says, and I'm very encouraged by what he's saying. He says we have from 200 to 250 Israeli captives. We can't know precisely how many because the Israeli military has been bombing non-stop, which led them to killing 22 of their own citizens, last of whom was 2 days ago. One of them being the Israeli artist Gay Olives, a resident of Tel Aviv. And then he goes on to say, we as Palestinians are adhering to Islamic teachings in our treatment of Israeli captives, providing them with full ethical and humanitarian care. They share the same food and drink as we do and live under the same conditions as anyone in Gaza. We firmly reject any Israeli claims about any mistreatment to the captives that we have in our care. What further can you tell us about that situation?
Okay, but actually, allow me to talk about another point is related to this one. Unfortunately, the mainstream media are promoting to the Israeli propaganda that the Palestinian resistance and Hamas killing children, slaughtering them, killing women, and they are inhumanely treating them, blah blah blah. And this propaganda, unfortunately, have been widely promoted in the media, and it has been adopted by many outlets like CNN, and it has been adopted by many ministers or presidents like Biden and others. And unfortunately, we are against that, and we are not like this. Yesterday, the spokesperson for the Al Qassam Brigade, Abu Baida, explained all of these misleading concepts or images about the Palestinian resistance fighters. And he said that we here in Gaza are treating the prisoners in a humanitarian way, and they are living the same thing that the people in Gaza are living, and or they live. And there are about 20 to 22 prisoners have been killed by the Israeli airstrikes, massive Israeli strikes on the Palestinian residential houses, buildings, and many areas. And this proves that Israeli occupation does not discriminate, and they don't kill the prisoners. The only thing they want to do is to ethnically cleanse the Palestinian people in Gaza, at the top of which the Hamas movement. So we are here. The Palestinian resistance are abiding by Islamic instructions that we just kill or we just attack the militant people, the soldiers, the armed people in the enemy. But we don't target children, women, or whatever. And by the way, there are many videos have been published recently that declaring that how the Palestinian fighters are treating the prisoners in a humanitarian way. And it is against propaganda that prevails across the world. So yeah, so it's the point that we are abided by the Islamic instructions that we have to treat them in a humanitarian way, and we differentiate between the militants, I mean the soldiers, and the civilians.
Okay, there were reports that went all around the world, like you rightly indicated, CNN and other news media were carrying the stories about Palestinians having chopped off the heads of Israeli babies. I found that very hard to believe. And that is the propaganda that you are referring to, is it not?
Yeah,
Mohammed, are you still there?
unfortunately, I want to mention something that I read on Al Jazeera, I think 2 days ago. I watched it. There is a photo that had been fabricated by the AI. It's for a dog, and it has been designed or fabricated an image of a child that had been burned. So unfortunately, the Israeli media is still continuing promoting their misleading propaganda. There is no clear image proof this propaganda. And also the White House rejected or withdraw. They went back from the Biden statements about this peace. I mean, that be hitting the babies and the settlements around Gaza. So it's false propaganda, and there is no clear for these claims.
What are you hearing on the ground, Mohammed, regarding a supposed ceasefire to allow much needed humanitarian aid to come into Gaza, very especially clean drinking water,
Mhm,
and then to allow
mhm.
foreigners that's in Gaza to allow them safe passage out? Are those talks still ongoing? Do you hope that that will happen sooner rather than later?
Look, we hope that not only a ceasefire happen. We hope that this war and no more lose for lives, either from the Palestinian side or the Israeli side. But unfortunately, the Israeli occupation insists to commit more crimes against the Palestinian people, and this we have to not be silent towards these crimes because we are under occupation. We have been suffering suffocating blockade for over 16 years. So yeah, we know that the conditions in Gaza is very difficult, and we hope that a ceasefire comes so soon and the end of this war comes too soon. But unfortunately, the Israeli occupation insists to continue their crimes against us. And one point that I want to mention that yesterday the spokesperson for Al-Qassam Brigades mentioned that there are some foreigners, prisoners in Gaza, and they are awaiting for an opportunity to release them without anything in response. That their release is not conditional. So, but in response, the medical and the humanitarian aid that will enter Gaza is conditional by the Israeli occupation. And this proves that this occupation is criminal, it's inhumane, and it's against all the international laws, norms, and so on. So, inshallah, we hope that this war end and we return to live peacefully and to meet our beloved people because we lost. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of people we know, a lot of people we love, and they don't have any affiliation with any political parties or faction. They are peaceful. They are civilians. They were sleeping in their homes, and at once they have been targeted and killed, and they lost their life at once, unfortunately, in a blink of an eye. So, inshallah, this war end and the picture will be for the Palestinian people who resisted many times to be free and to live a normal, a natural, a peaceful life like other people in this world.
Inshallah, Amin. Our du'as, our thoughts are with the Palestinian people, and we here at Salam Media are keeping the story of the Palestinian people alive. We cover it on a daily basis, not just once. It is repeated throughout the day, throughout from the time of the beginning of the war, and we will continue to do so. We will continue to bring your stories to the rest of the world, and we'll bring the truth out there for the Western world to see, who are the liars, who are the subjugators, and who are causing the most war crimes regarding this current situation is concerned. So just know that we here in South Africa and lots of Muslims globally are making dua and protesting for the cause of Palestine. Stay safe, stay strong. Allah protect one and all. Until the next time, Assalamu alaikum to you.
Ameen. Wa alaikum salam.
9:35 news and views on Salam Media, and I think in a minute or two we're going to be joined by Abdul Alim Khamza about the Palestine emergency appeal, and he is with the IRSA Cape Town office. So please stand by for that interview.